One child is up and wants breakfast. The other one doesn't want breakfast. So, and she's going to have the lost chicken burger on bread with mayo and cheese, a fruit pouch, strawberries that she didn't eat yesterday, and a yogurt too, and for lunch. And then the other one's going to have just a raisin bagel with butter, pouch, banana, and a yogurt too. And I'm going to have a raisin bagel for breakfast with coffee. I just want to show you one of the carrots I got from the farm a while back. I was putting my carrots in the bin in the pantry, and I was like, oh, isn't that cool? It's in love! And for lunch, I'm having the leftover pork soup, but instead of the ramen noodles, I'm throwing in some udon noodles I had in the fridge. Or just something different. Another way to save money is to take the ends of bread or naan that you don't use. Like my family doesn't like the crusts of bread, so I take them out and I lay them on a plate and I dry them, or I put them on a cookie sheet in the oven and toast them until they're dry. And then once they're all dry, I will put them in the food processor and make my own breadcrumbs. Press the pull. Off. And see, it's all finely ground breadcrumbs. Now I'll put that in a mason jar and put it in the cupboard. And now I have breadcrumbs for whenever I need it. And there you go. Made about a cup and a half. That was about 5 pieces of bread, well, 4 end crust and a piece of naan that had dried up, and I toasted it. Another thing to prep and save time is to slice celery and put them in the freezer. So if you put them in like 1 cup or half cup serving sizes, put them in the freezer and then bag them into a bigger bag, you will save a lot of prep time and the celery won't go bad. So I'm just slicing it. And we use every bit of the celery. And these are the ends that I will save for soup stock, which this is what I made with the last batch of veggies. This is just a veggie soup stock. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put in containers either for the freezer or I'm going to can it. So I'm going to continue with another thing of celery. So literally in under a minute and a half, 2 minutes, I made, well, this does 12 cups, so 12 cups of chopped celery. Most are little slices, except for right at the ends where they're a bit longer. Not a biggie, because all I ever use celery for is for pilafs or soups or anything. We don't tend to eat it raw, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these into actually little sandwich Ziplocs, and then put those sandwich Ziplocs into a bigger Ziploc and throw it in the freezer. And then anytime I want to make something, I could just grab a sandwich bag of the celery. I think I'm going to mix it up with celery, onion, and carrot. So I'll go and chop those ones up too, because I always seem to use celery, onions, and carrots all the time in a soup or a pilaf or anything like that. So now I'm going to chop some carrots, and I get these rainbow carrots from a farmer, and there's like red ones and purple ones. Look at the center of that beautiful purple, yellow, orangey red. Some of them are purple on the outside and orange in the center. And sometimes we get like actual orange ones like you see in the store, but these ones aren't. I'm going to chop them up, and we're going to put that into the Ziploc bag. So here's the Ziploc bags. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ziploc bags that I'm going to add this to, as well as I have a little bit in a pan that I'm going to be using for supper tonight. Oops. I guess now it's not making as much noise since there's more stuff at the bottom. So there, I've chopped in little pieces, and the reason why I do this is because whatever I cook, I have a kid that doesn't like carrots, and she'll pick them out. But if I chop them this small, she can't pick them out. And it's a beautiful color of purple and red. So now that I peeled some onions, I'm going to do those in here. I just cut these in half so they could fit. My lid wasn't fully snapped, it popped up. There we go. And this is so much easier, so much less crying because of the onions. And I get really small pieces. So there you go. There's, sorry I miscounted, there's 6 bags of carrot, onion, and celery chopped up to go in the freezer. And then the last little bit I put in the pan to make the Mexican quinoa tonight. And here are the veggie clippings from just today. So I almost have half a bag of veggie clippings. So when this is full, I will make another soup. There we go. It's a big, huge Ziploc bag. I wrote what's on it, and little bags in size. So it might not necessarily be a freezer meal, but it's frozen ingredients that can make a meal quickly. So I could take this, throw this in a jar of spaghetti sauce and have a bit healthier spaghetti sauce. I can take this, throw it in a soup or anything with make a rice pilaf or whatever. There we go. So in this pan I have diced onions and celery and carrots. This is rainbow carrots, that's why it looks kind of reddish brown. There's red, yellow, and then I used a bit of water to get it out of the food processor. So these are just going to saute in the water. And I'm going to take out some chopped garlic. I get it from the dollar store, $1.25. I usually have it on hand, but I want to finish this up, and I want to make some more and put it in the jar and put it in the fridge. So it's a convenience food versus chopping it all the time. So I'm going to get it all out. There wasn't much in there. I'll just get the water in there. So I don't need to add more water because I'm making a Mexican quinoa, and I'm slightly following the recipe. I'm not really measuring per se, but I'm going to let this saute. And then I have quinoa that I've had for years. I want to use up. It's not going to use up the whole bit. And I have some frozen corn that I got from the farm, and they flash freeze it right at harvest. So this says it's good till August. And then I have the veggie broth, which I'm going to use a ladle and put some in. And then it calls for tomatoes and black beans. And there's the black beans that I cooked up the other day for the black bean lime chicken and rice dish. And that's the leftovers, so I'm going to use those. Corn, tomatoes, quinoa in here, garlic, onions, and celery and carrot. Oh, and it calls for fresh jalapeno, which I don't have, so I'm going to use some jalapeno slices, pickled ones. You use what you got, and you improvise, and it'll all turn out fine usually. And with the Mexican quinoa, I'm going to use the leftover pork that I took out of the pork and ramen soup yesterday. I had 2 tenderloins, so I took one out, and I'm going to use that with some homemade taco seasoning, which I got off Pinterest. I'll put the link underneath, but basically that's it. 1/4 cup of cumin, 1/4 cup of salt, 2 tablespoons of garlic salt, 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika or regular paprika, and 3 tablespoons equals like a taco package. So I'm just going to mix this with some taco seasoning, shredded cheese, lettuce, and salsa. And I have in my pantry, so there's some salsa, these cheesy blasted taco shells, and over here, and tortilla bowls. So I'm gonna have those with the Mexican quinoa. But I'm not gonna necessarily show that because all I'm doing is literally heating that up in the microwave. And I put my canned beef on the shelf today, and I'm trying to organize this a bit, and I'm making a list of the stuff that's in my pantry so that I can cross things off as I use it. It's slow going because I get easily distracted by other things. Okie dokie, so here we go. I'm gonna put some of the frozen corn in. Get that out. And then put the beans. And then the tomatoes. Then I'm going to take some jalapenos, maybe some of the juice, give it a nice kick. if your family doesn't like spicy, then you don't need to do it. I'm just going to add a little bit. And I'm going to add, that's 1 cup of quinoa, and I'm going to do, I think half of that, do 1.5. And then I will do 3 cups. Okay. 1. Try not to get any of the peelings and stuff in here. Look how beautiful that is. 2. 3. So I was going to try and double that by putting 2 cups in, but I think my pot would not fill, like would be overflowing. So, and then basically it just says to let this cook, put a lid on it, and it should be done. You know, probably about 20 minutes or so. I'll check on it in 10 minutes or so. If it seems to be very liquidy, I'll just add some more quinoa, because there was some liquid from before and from the, actually I'll add just a little bit more anyways, just to be on the safe side, because I'm like, yeah, there was some liquid already and I want to get it all out. And last thing I want is mushy quinoa. And I will show it to you when it's done. And here is the Mexican quinoa. All the liquid is absorbed, and we will have that with pork tacos for supper. So all I did was pour some of my taco seasoning. I'm going to have to make some more soon. In here, I'm just going to microwave that to get it warm. And then I put the hard taco shells on a cookie sheet, and I'm putting them in the oven. And then I took a block of cheese, I put in the food processor. Look at that. It's the first time I've shredded cheese, and it was just from my fridge, from my food processor. This is the Cuisinart, the new one. I'll have to look at the box, what it says. I got it for Christmas, so it was like the professional grade. And I used the big hole grater. And I've had before, when I had a processor before, when it ground up the cheese, and it would get stuck underneath the lid, but this is the lid and not much got stuck under it. Also, I found out that this not only has a small hole, but it also has a big hole, so I could do like whole onions or zucchinis. That's cool. Also, this food processor has another bowl that fits inside here that can only do, like, you could do 4 cup and a smaller blade for chopping too. So you could do either 4 cup or 12 cup. And I'm like, I don't know why anybody would want to do the 4 cup when you have to put that inside here and probably have to wash both bowls, but I'm just going to do, so that's like 1 block of cheese, and that's like more than a bag of cheese here. And I get the cheese for, I got it for $3.47 for 450 grams, and I can't get shredded cheese under $5.99, so can't beat that price. So these are the Old El Paso cheesy tacos, cheesy blasted tacos. They are like basically like Doritos. And this is just leftover cooked pork. Yeah, it's hard to do this one-handed. And the taco seasoning, and heat it up in the microwave so it's nice and steamy, so it can melt the cheese. Just gonna grab some cheese. Put some lettuce. And then people can put salsa on it at the table too. This, now where's the spatula? And so I got this recipe on Pinterest, and it says it's like a freezer meal, so I could freeze the leftovers, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I made a huge batch, and I think I'll freeze the leftovers and use them in burritos or whatever. But so that's basically supper. This and the Mexican quinoa and salsa. The taco shells and the salsa, I get them when they're on sale for like $2. So I never pay more than really $2.25. So this meal probably cost, to make the whole thing, I would say about $8 or so, plus there's leftovers. So it would definitely be under 10 for my family of 4, plus a whole other meal of this. And there you go. Enjoy.